I will remind everyone that this investigation only started after Michael Cohen, his former lawyer, testified before Congress and shed light on this misconduct.
Attorney General James, citing Michael Cohen, my guest, one point she was making is that she's following the facts and you unearthed some of them, rather than the attack that somehow she set out to do this. Now that she's landed this case yesterday, and she says it started after your testimony, what do you see in it? Does it follow the leads that you provided?
Absolutely. I mean, the problem that prosecutors have always had as it relates to Trump, the Trump Organization, is that there are only a handful of executives in the place. And they never were able to figure out it's a privately held company, regardless of whether it's $1 billion or, as he would say, it's $10 billion. It makes no difference. Understanding how the Trump Organization works, the methodology that's used, and the inner workings of the company, that's what I provided, along with, more importantly, documentary evidence. Remember the 2011, 12, 13 personal financial statements. I provided them the roadmap into what they were used for, and that, I believe, is part of the basis of this 200-page indictment.
Yeah, a roadmap, and you mentioned that there's a finite number of people. Mr. Weisselberg now convicted. Here's what else she said. Take a listen.
Mr. Trump and Mr. Weisselberg would meet to review and approve the final statement every year. Mr. Trump made known through Alan Weisselberg that he wanted his net worth reflected on the statements to increase, a desire Mr. Weisselberg and others carried out year after year.
Does that match your experience?
Yes. And I discussed it with them at length, and I provided them documentation, including the personal financial statements. That was obviously important for them, because what it did is it gave them the ability to take the documents that I provided, not just to them, but to all the various different congressional committees, the House Oversight Committee that it was posted up live on. And what they did is they tracked it back. For example, the craziness about his triplex apartment, 33,000 square feet, highest price ever attained. In fact, the whole building's not worth that amount of money, and it's never seen that type of money. They then did it with Seven Springs. They did it with Mar-a-Lago. They did it with virtually every single property, including his golf courses. So that's the big problem.
When you see her act where others have not, including the DA case, which famously got to Weisselberg but not beyond, do you think it's something different about James? Do you think she has been better? Because, as you just mentioned, you've cooperated with more than one probe.
Right. I think Tish James is fantastic. I think she is an incredible attorney general, and an attorney general that I wish every single state in this country had. I actually wish Alvin Bragg had been a little bit more Tish James, though I'm going to give Alvin a little bit of leeway, as we now in October have the case against the Trump Organization, and you and I have talked about this, that you cannot separate the Trump Organization from Donald.
Well, it's not Weisselberg org.
Correct.
It's Trump org.
Yes.
So at a certain point, the authorities have to get in there. Final question to you, knowing him well. Where do you think his head and emotions are at today when he sees the prospect that he could really be booted from New York business, not him or his kids able to run any business here? Yeah.
It's not the business that bothers him. It's the loss of what will be the money. And one of the things you talked about at the beginning is that she's seeking $250 million. That's not accurate. What she said was the baseline of $250 million. Knowing the documents the way I do, and knowing exactly the fraud that was going on, I see the number between 750 and $1 billion.
Because you think that the penalties that she's attaching to what has happened would actually go up?
Yes. This is a baseline.
Interesting. Mr. Michael Cohen, it's not me saying it. It was the Attorney General leading this probe saying, look, it's not whether they like you or not. It's that they found you and the evidence you provided credible, which kicked off her investigation, which now is a big deal. So you're a person back in the news. I appreciate you coming on the beat,
And I
sir.
thank her for it. I really do.
Thank you.
And I thank you.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber. Thanks for watching The Beat. I wanted to let you know I'm writing a foreword to the January 6th committee's full report, which is coming out soon from HarperCollins. You can go pre-order the book right now, and it'll come to you first when the report comes out in the fall or whenever the government releases it. Just search Melber Jan 6 on Amazon or your favorite independent book site. and click pre-order. You'll be the first to get both the report and my new piece on the coup conspiracy. You can also go to melbourbook.com and order it there.